in a moment that hand's going to touch your forehead, and when it does, you just drift down deeper and deeper, and sleep now. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed.
This week's video is another hypnotic induction. Keep watching. Hi, it's Turan here from Feel Good Hypnosis, and this week's video is another breakdown of hypnotic induction. Now, I did a hypnotic induction release on last week's video, and this is a quite similar induction, but there's a lot of differences in the responses you see from the girl in this week's video. So I'm going to do a bit of a compare and contrast between last week's video and this week's video. For that reason, I'll put the link in the link section above to link to the last week's video, so you can check it out afterwards and see what differences you see between this discussion and last week's video. I do a lot of different inductions, and I'll put a playlist link to all the different inductions that I do, so they're all in one place inside one playlist if you want to focus on the hypnotic induction side of hypnosis. So this week's video is in open air, and you can hear a lot of noise, a lot of chatter in the background. I'm not talking about the birds right now in my background, but in the background of the video you're about to see. Last week's video was inside, and there wasn't a lot of foot traffic, a lot of people talking, but it was a bit echoey. And the importance between both of those videos is the fact that you don't need peace and quiet, you don't need a solitude with nice relaxing music to be able to go into hypnosis, to have that induction into hypnosis. It can happen anywhere, and both last week's video and this week's video were done standing up. So again, it proves that you don't need to be sitting down and relaxing on a lounger just to be able to go into that deep hypnotic state. So that's the first point to point out. So this induction is what's called the hypnotic handshake or pattern interrupt induction. The reason that is happening is because when I go to shake her hand, I interrupt the pattern of her shaking my hand by moving her hand up to her face, and you'll see that in the video. Right away, there's some lovely trance signals and signs there. You see her fingers, and I'm moving them in an exaggerated manner there, but you'll see some little subtle movements of her fingers as she twitches and moves. Already that's an indication that she's gone into that hypnotic state, and everything that follows is just helping to induce and deepen that state of hypnosis. Unlike last week's subject, where she was quite quiet and you know, passive and just listening to me, this girl, I'll almost call it as a narration. When I say look at your hand, she says okay, and she's giving me feedback. Now I go as far as saying you don't need to talk to me, you can just listen. She continues to do that, and the way I said it is you don't have to talk means that I'm giving her permission not to, but if she does, it's not an interruption, it's not a breaking off the induction process. So don't worry if people talk all the way through it. In fact, this girl giggles and laughs throughout the process, and at one point I even say, you know, you might find yourself laughing. What I'm saying is I'm giving her permission to laugh. I'm making sure that I'm pacing her experience and giving her that permission so that she's allowed to laugh. It's not going to interrupt her or disturb the process of inducing her into hypnosis. Another lovely sign is that the catalepsy of her left hand. Now that was mentioned by Bartos in a comment, hopefully I pronounced your name right, in a comment last week, where the last week's girl, her left hand just stayed in sort of frozen animation all the way through the video. This week when I see that hand, I put the hand down and say, you know, just rest your hand down. It doesn't matter whether it stays up or stays down, but again, it was nice that someone put a comment in the comment section last week. I do want to see you commenting on what you think of this video this week, so make sure you watch it all the way through and put some comments in the comment section below about what you liked best about it. And if you're lucky, then I'll give you a shout out like I did there now. Another bit of pacing and leading is the fact that I see that the wind is blowing her hair. So again, I give her permission. I say, just let the feel of the wind blowing through your hair help you in this hypnotic state. So again, I'm pacing her experience. I'm making sure that she's aware that I know what's going on in the environment around her, and giving her permission just to go into trance despite whatever's happening. I then ask her to close her eyes down, and I give her both the verbal suggestion and my hand moving in front of her eyes to really reinforce that suggestion of just allowing her eyes to close. And again, she does that beautifully and smoothly, and it's a good sign that she's following my suggestions and going into hypnosis. Again, it's not about me taking control of her and giving her permission, and she's giving me her trust in terms of doing what I ask her to do. You can see her, again, body swaying slightly, and at one point you see me putting my hand on her shoulder just to make sure that I'm aware of her, you know, state of being in terms of her position in the open area. I put my hand just gently on her. I don't grasp it or hold it. I just touch it enough to be aware of her movement, so that if she sways backwards, I'll feel that. If she sways from side to side, or while I'm looking around for people coming into view, maybe people walking past might not see what we're up to and try and bump into her. So I want to make sure that I know where she is by keeping my hand on her. That's a good health and safety measure, and I've talked about that in other videos as well. Throughout this, she's laughing and giggling, and at one point I say, you know, it's okay to laugh. So again, I'm giving her all that permission to do the things that she's doing. At one point, again, I don't know whether she's feeling good or feeling anxious, but I say, you're feeling good, aren't you? And it's a statement, a sort of suggestion, but at the same time a question as well. And again, she says yes. People don't zone out. They don't go, you know, people again have this impression that when you're in hypnosis, your ears stop working and you can't hear anything but maybe my voice. That they have the impression that you can't see anything, you can't speak at all. And then this video is a beautiful example of just how that is not the case. She speaks to me and replies yes, and a very confident, a very confirmed yes. Which, again, it's a great green flag to me that the hypnosis is working. So look for these, and don't be afraid to ask questions and make statements like I'm making to someone when they're in hypnosis. We then move on to the deepener, which is counting 10 down to 1, and I count her down, and following that countdown I do a little bit of fractionization, which is waking her up and then dropping her back into trance. And I do that by counting 1, 2, 3, open your eyes and then close them again. But notice the subtlety in what I'm doing here. I pause between the number 2 and 3, so I'm not having an equal pace between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. I do a 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Everybody's expecting a 3 on the 1, 2, 3. And if she was conscious, if she was following me in any way consciously, then she would open her eyes before I said the number 3. But the fact that she waits until I say the number 3 before she opens her eyes, again, is a very positive, very good green flag that shows me that she's doing what I'm asking her to do and not doing anything that she's thinking of herself. A great positive green flag for hypnosis. So I hope those tips are good. I hope you can compare the difference between this week's video and last week's video and see that there are quite a few differences between how the two subjects react, and yet both go into trance beautifully. If you have any comments, as I say, put them in the comments section below. I want to hear from you. Make sure they're positive, and if there's something you don't like, say, I'd rather have this. So put the positive spin on any comments you make. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, make sure you give it a like, and don't forget to click the big red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. And click the little notification bell so you get notified every time a new video comes out from Feel Good Hypnosis. It helps my channel grow and helps other people see and make sure that I keep on making wonderful videos just for you guys. So without further ado, let's check out the video.
And your name is?
Morgan.
Morgan, how do you do, Morgan? Look at your hand. Just look at your hand. You don't need to point or anything. Just stare at that hand. Pick one spot on one line. And just continue to stare at that spot. And as you stare at that spot, notice how as I move that hand towards your forehead. That's right. So move that hand towards your forehead. Notice how that hand starts to drift towards your forehead all by itself, without any conscious thought on your part. You can set that other hand down. Just relax that other hand. As you continue to stare at that spot, notice how that hand gets closer and closer and closer to your forehead. And you don't need to say a thing. Just notice how it comes closer and closer all by itself.
Yeah.
And as that continues to drift towards your forehead, just close your eyes down now. Close your eyes down now and let that hand continue to float towards your forehead, knowing that your legs will support you and your back will support you. But when that hand touches your forehead, your head will drop down into your chest, your arm will drop down to your side, and you'll just go into a wonderful, deeply relaxing state of hypnosis. Once again, your legs will support you and your back will support you all the time. As you just drift down, as you're going down already, as that hand gets closer and closer. That's right. You feel that now. That's right. Getting closer and closer. And in a moment, that hand's going to touch your forehead, and when it does, you just drift down deeper and deeper and sleep now. Deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. And the deeper you go, the more relaxed you feel. The more relaxed you feel, the deeper you go. When I drop that hand down to your side, just go way down deeper, way down, more relaxed. That's right. And feel that feeling of relaxation washing all the way through you. As you hear all the sounds around you, the people in the background, people talking all around you, and the wind blowing through your hair, just feeling that breeze just helps you go even deeper, even more relaxed. That's right. Way down. And in a minute, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With every count I count, just allow your unconscious now to take you to a place of hypnosis that even I couldn't take you to. So 10, going deeper now. Doubling that feeling of relaxation. 9, 8, so deep, so relaxed now. 7, feeling that feeling of swaying, that's right. And you can feel like you want to laugh, and that's good. Just doubling that relaxation as you go down even deeper still. And 6, and 5. That's right, feel that all going all the way through you. That feels good now, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, it really does feel good. And 3. By the time I get to the number 1, your unconscious will take you to a place that even I couldn't take it to. So deep, so relaxed, that everything I say will become your reality. You just feel good inside now. And 2. And 1, so deep, so relaxed. In a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 3, and the count of 3 you can open your eyes, you'll be back with us, but every time I say the word sleep or deeper sleep, your eyes will close down, your head will just drop back down to your chest, and you'll go even deeper still, even more relaxed, feeling even better. Nod your head that you understand. So 1, 2, 3, open your eyes and sleep down, way down even deeper, doubling that relaxation, feeling even better inside. And 1, 2, 3, open your eyes and sleep now, way down. Feel how good that feels inside now.